Yeah, Dr. Cloud. Hello, how are you? Thank you so much for taking my call.
You're very welcome. How can I help?
Well, I just finished your book. My mind is blown. I loved it. It was so good. And I feel like everybody needs to read and really internalize all the principles that you've shared. I'm I'm kind of
And you're
amazed at
you're
how
you're
much.
specifically talking about the book Boundaries. Is that the book you finished?
That's correct. Yes,
Okay.
yes. I know you have multiple. Um, but I think the big thing for me was I wasn't sure where I should begin on, because there's so many different areas where I could establish boundaries, and it kind of made me feel like, wow, how do I consistently develop this and make this a part of my life so I can be a more whole person and
Yeah.
a person who has more control and responsibility for my life.
Well, it's a great question. How would you answer it?
um, well, I think some of the ideas that come to my mind on my own are, um, start where it hurts, where
There
it
you
hurts the
go.
most.
There you go.
And but but I still feel like the worry I think I have is, there's a lot of I'm trying to be more and more of a reader, and I'm reading all kinds of books, and I don't want this stuff, this great content that I just learned, to just kind of go and fade from my life. And I've been really excited about it, but I worry. I'm like, well, how can I stay committed to it? And
There
I
you go.
suppose if I keep feeling the pain from it, then I'll naturally be wanting to develop it. Anyway, just wanted your insight on that, and
Well,
I
that
maybe
would be
have one other
nice.
question
That would be
connected to it.
nice if pain would actually cause us to take the next step. But many times, unfortunately, which is what it's designed to do, many times, unfortunately, it doesn't, because you do see people remain in painful situations and painful dynamics for decades, right? And so it would be
Hmm.
nice if the pain would do that. But I love what you said, which is to start with the pain. Okay, because all pain is a signal that something's wrong. And so it's like a blinking light on your dashboard. Well, the blinking light's not the problem, but it sure tells you that you might be out of oil or the engine's overheating or something. So so here's a couple of suggestions, and I love, love, love where you are, because you're getting all these awakenings and awarenesses, and you're thinking, wow, I need to start implementing this stuff. But you're also saying something really, really important, Austin, and that is that knowledge is not enough, right? So
Hmm.
here's how behavior changes. We know this. I mean, it's just kind of like anytime you try to violate this, it ain't gonna work. But the first thing we do need is some sort of awareness of the issue. You've learned about the issue. You've started to learn about the issues. What is a boundary? What's a limit? Why am I not, I don't set limits. I let people manipulate me or control me or whatever. And oh, you can't really? You can say no. I don't have to say it. And so that's the awareness. All right. That's the learning moment. But where we got to go through from there is to the second thing that changes in the process of changing behavior is there's got to be some sort of focused attention on that issue in my life. So this is why people will go to a therapist or they'll go to a group and they'll come in with their knowledge and their awareness and say, I've learned I have an issue with my parents or my extended family or the person I'm dating or my spouse or my kids. And then what that therapist or that group is going to do is help them to focus attention on that issue in real life. And now you're starting to really see the situations that the pain actually comes from, right? Then the third thing
Hmm.
is deliberate practice. That in the book, if you notice, there were a lot of skills mentioned in there. Learning to say no with love, learning to realize what you are being manipulated into and not, and getting a signal on that, and then backing off and saying no to that. There's a bunch of skills in there. The third one is deliberate practice. So you're actually going out and doing those things. But I would want you to get in a circle, a community of people that are going to support you in this and help you take the next step. Does that help?
Mm. Yes. Can I ask us a follow-up question on that?
Sure. If we go fast.
So I'm curious. I'm just curious how this manifests itself in other people's lives who I would like to also help. I sometimes worry, like now that I'm respecting the responsibility of other people and the control of other people's lives, I'm starting to worry. I'm like, wow, if they don't understand these principles, will they be able to also, are they going to succeed in the end? And I want to be able to help people at my maximum ability while respecting their boundaries. But I fear that this has caused me to disengage, probably in a very healthy way, but also has made me feel like more worried that I don't want to also leave them to hang, on their own. And
well, who are we?
I don't know.
Who are we talking about? Are you who? Yeah, who are we talking about? Are you talking about you volunteer at a rescue mission? Is this your cousin who you're always bailing out of life? I mean, what context are we talking about?
I could say one particular relationship I've had, a really good friend of mine. It was a dating relationship, but me and her are really good friends now, and she has she appreciates like knowledge and wisdom and stuff, but I also feel this very important that I don't know, and I know it's unhealthy, but I feel compelled. I just want to help. I want to help because I care so much a lot about
help
her,
what?
also
help what?
Well, I want her to live a healthy lifestyle with her relationships now, and
well,
me and her are really close.
Is she asking you for help? Is she in pain?
I don't know that that's the case.
Well, it's hard to help somebody who doesn't have a problem.
That's very true. That's
right?
Very true.
Okay, let me give you a couple of thoughts about this. I like your heart. You want to help. You ever heard of the 12 steps?
Yeah.
Okay, you know what the 12th step is?
I don't know the steps by heart.
Okay, so the 12th step in that order goes something like having received this awakening. In other words, having gone through all the steps, doing all the work, growing, getting mature, now it's time to go help others. All right. So if you are just trying to get yourself kind of figured out here, I would really, like on the airplane, you put the mask on yourself before you turn to help somebody else. And here's a reason for that. If you're just learning about boundaries and limits and you're finding that helpful, then you really have to get your boundaries kind of figured out in order how to know how to help somebody well with theirs. Like Jesus said, sometimes if our own vision is kind of like not clear about this stuff, we got the log in our own eye, we can't really see clearly to help the other person. Because sometimes if we have boundary issues, this is a big thing with therapists, Austin. You see a lot of therapists in training, a lot of young therapists who really don't have clear boundaries, and they start doing rescuing behaviors, for clients, really not letting them struggle or not confronting them and kind of rescuing them and all sorts of stuff. Or on the other side, they over identify with their pain and try to get them to go, just jettison everybody out of their life. That's why as therapists, you go through a lot of training, but you have to go through a lot of personal work as well. So you're seeing clearly to help other people and not getting our own issues mixed up in it. So I would focus on you first And then when you feel like you're really clear about some issues, you could say to her something like, gosh, I read this book. Man, I read this and let's talk about it. Let her do that. But right now, I really would focus on whatever it is you're focusing on, and then offer it to her. But let's get you strong first, and then you'll be in a position probably. Besides, she's not even asking for help, so it's kind of hard to ask. It's kind of hard to help somebody who doesn't have a problem, but sure she does. Okay, hope that helps you.